Hello students, good morning. Today we are going to learn the first lesson of 9th State Board. And the lesson name is Our Earth. This is 9th class State Board Social Studies first lesson, Our Earth. And in this lesson we are going to learn about what are the differentiations between the Earth and the Sun, and what are the movements of the Earth, and how Earth is revolving around the Sun, and about what are the materials inner part of the Earth. All these things we are going to learn. Okay, ma? Okay, we have to see. We know very well Earth is a planet, and whereas the Sun is a star. Earth is a planet, the Sun is a star. If we see what are the differences between the planet and a star, we know Sun is releasing energy and Earth is receiving energy. If we see both planet, the Earth and the star, Sun, both are heavenly bodies. But we have to see, compared to the size of the Earth, the Sun is nearly 1.3 million times bigger than the Earth. Sun is nearly 1.3 million times bigger than the Earth. And this is not only difference in size. Number of other differences also there. Suppose we see, planet is the energy receiving body, whereas the Sun, star, is the energy releasing body. So Sun is releasing energy continuously in the form of light and heat. Now we are seeing the objects during the daytime. We are seeing the person who is standing in the opposite side, and we are seeing this pen, and we are seeing any objects. How we are able to see all those objects? Because of light. So that light of the object is receiving from the Sun. So Sun is releasing energy continuously in the form of light and heat. So that energy releasing from the Sun is to be called as solar energy. And we already learned about, in size, Sun is very big, and it is continuously emitting energy in the form of light and heat. But due to small in size compared to the Sun, the Earth is unable to receive total energy. From the total energy, suppose we take the total energy releasing by our Sun is 1 unit. In that 1 unit energy, the Earth is receiving only 1 by 2000 millionth part. So 1 by 2000 millionth part of energy is only receiving by our Earth. Do you know? It is very wonder for us. The Earth is receiving very, very tiny amount of energy, very, very little amount of energy from the Sun, due to its small in size compared to Sun. But that little amount of energy is only enough to provide energy, and it is a sustenance for the plant life, animal life, human being, and all the living organisms on the Earth. It means star is self-luminous body, and the Sun is not self-luminous. And the Sun is energy releasing body, and Earth is energy receiving body. And we know about the differences between a Sun, it means a star, and a planet Earth. We know very well Sun is the nearest star to us. How can we identify the difference between a star and the planet? Suppose during the sky, in the night time, when we go to the open place nearby our house, When we are going to sleep, we can see in the sky and a number of the lightning particles are appear in the sky along with the moon. So all these lightning particles are not to be called as stars. Then how can we identify which is a star, which is a planet, and which object is continuously lightning, that is called planet, and which is giving a spark for us, sparkling, dim and dip. So that type of objects are to be called as stars. So that's why stars are releasing energy and planet is only receiving energy. And we learned already here, though the total energy is only 1 unit, suppose we assume total energy releasing from the sun is 1 unit, from that very little amount, only 1 by 2000 millionth part is receiving by our energy. So the energy receiving by our earth is called what? Solar energy. This is insolation. So insolation means what actually? Incoming solar radiation. Insolation full form is incoming solar radiation. And already I told you 1 by 2000 millionth part is only receiving by our earth. And what about the remaining energy? So we have come to know the total energy is not in a position to receive by our earth. From that total energy, maximum part of the energy is reflecting again from the earth into the space. So it is in this shape. Suppose we take the surface of the earth in this way. Suppose we take energy is approaching from the sun to the earth in the form of rays. But energy we see which is going inner part of the earth, from that it is coming towards earth and again reflecting into the space. Are you understanding? It means sun is releasing energy, our earth is receiving energy, but its receiving part is very little and remaining energy is scattering again into the universe. And the part which the earth is receiving energy and the part of energy which is reflecting from our earth, that difference is to be called as the proportionate of energy receiving, energy releasing is to be called as albedo. And Earth's albedo is 30. It means 30% of energy is only receiving and remaining part of the energy is reflecting into the universe. And we have to see, it is to be called as heat balance. It means energy, how much is coming and the energy again scattering into the universe. And that little amount of energy is only enough for the life of sustenance of the life of animal, human being and the plants. It means by this we can imagine what is the big in size of the sun compared to our earth, and what is the energy in the form of rays coming from the sun. And okay, we have to see the sun and the earth both are heavenly bodies. And why we have to learn about these stars? We know from the earth, if we see in the sky, and we know sun is appear very big in size and compared to remaining stars. Why this? And the sun is just the star, one of the stars, and remaining millions of stars are there we can see in the sky. And all these stars sometimes forms into groups, hundreds, thousands, millions and billions. And all these stars collectively appear in the sky, and at a time these group of stars is to be called as a Milky Way. So Milky Way means what? Group of stars. And these group of stars appear in the sky. Such type of Milky Ways are thousands and millions can we see in the sky. It means it is infinite, the size of the universe. And if we separate the earth from the universe, the remaining universe is to be called as space. And we have to see number of facts which are applicable for our plant life, animal life, and the human being's life. Now we have to see how the earth is formed. According to a brief story told by our geologists, first the sun, which is to be a burning ball, and while it is rotating itself, some number of dust particles, gaseous particles, and the gaseous particles were separated from this burning ball sun. And these separated particles are collectively formed into number of particles. Now we called all these particles into planets. It means the present planets were once upon a time the parts which were separated from the sun. And we have to see these separated particles are to be called now planets. And planets, when they are separating from the sun, planets are automatically providing their own path which we called as orbit. Example, we take the sun in the central and earth is revolving round the sun. This is earth's second movement. And what is the first movement? Earth is rotating itself from west to east. So the two movements of the earth are, one is rotation, one is revolution. Now we have to see what is rotation, what is revolution. And earth moves on its own axis. Earth moves on its own axis from west to east with a speed of 1610 kilometers per hour is to be called rotation. So it means earth is starting its rotation. It means it is rotating itself on its own path. Whereas revolution means, so this is the orbit path. Suppose we feel this is the sun, and here around the sun, earth is moving around the sun along with its rotation. It means while second movement revolution is continuing along with its rotation. Okay? And this second movement is to be called revolution, and revolution, it is moving around the earth with a speed of 1,07,200 kilometers per hour. So this is revolution speed. This is rotation speed of the earth. So in this way, our earth is comprising two movements. One is rotation, what I told you, and one is revolution. And by the rotation, what are the changes we are observing? What are the results of rotation? Formation of day and night. Formation of day and night are the important results of rotation. And what are the results of revolution? By the revolution, seasons are forming, and changes in the day-night durations also occurring by the revolution of the earth. Okay, ma? And in the next video, we are going to learn some more topics about this lesson. Thank you for watching. Okay, students, we discussed the topic of rotation and revolution of the earth. If we see in the picture, the first one of the earth, the picture is showing about circular path, and in the second picture we are observing elongated path, and in the third one is the scaled oval path. So among these three paths, which path is the correct one of our earth? So it is not the circle path and not the elongated path, and it is exactly a scaled oval path. How can we say it? One side, the distance from Sun and the Earth is 152 million kilometers, and the other side from Sun and the Earth distance is 147 million kilometers. Because while revolution of the Earth, one side the Earth is going outside of the orbit, so that the distance between Sun and Earth is increasing, and that's why it is approximately 152. And whereas on the other side, when the Earth is come close to the into the orbit, and when it is coming inside of the orbit, the distance between the Sun and the Earth is decreasing, and in that time the distance is 147 million kilometers, and we have to shuffle 152 kilometers, 152 million kilometers and 147 million kilometers, and we get the average distance is 149.5 million kilometers, and it is the approximate mean distance between the Sun and the Earth. And the distance increased situation is to be called as aphelion, which is comprising 152 million kilometers, and whereas the distance decreasing situation is to be called as perihelion, which comprises 147 million kilometers. So aphelion, perihelion are the lengthiest, farthest and the shortest distances between the Sun and the Earth. When we combine aphelion and perihelion, then we get the average distance by dividing the two distances by 2, then we get average distance between the Sun and the Earth, that is 149.5 million kilometers. It is the mean distance of Earth and the Sun. Okay, ma? Thank you.